Should I get a coach or mentor as a copywriter? To summarize this entire video, my answer is no until you're making $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Why do I say that? Because at that point, in order to scale, for most people, you need a different lens. You need a different perspective from someone else who has already done it. They will hand you these systems, the SOPs, the hiring processes to just blow up your business. And if you can get to that first $5,000, typically, you've kind of gone through the pain, you've figured out enough about the skill, and now it's time to just scale. And it's time to kind of look at someone else who has really done it. And again, this is my opinion coming from someone who has started really with, I didn't start with a mentor. I learned these skills myself through books and YouTube, completely self-educated. You are probably more ready than you think you are as a copywriter. I mean, I've hopped on calls with many of my viewers. Most people have this concept in their head that they're not ready, myself included. I thought that just watching a couple YouTube videos that there's no way I'd be good enough to start writing. But the honest reality is 1, 2, maybe 3 books max, a couple YouTube videos, understanding copy, maybe, watching someone review copy live, taking some good notes, and just incorporating that language into sales calls and into your own copy is good enough. I promise you, it's probably 10 to 15 hours of actual studying to be an effective copywriter. I'm not saying you're going to be the best, but you will be an effective enough copywriter. And it's at that point, 10 to 15 hours, in my opinion, that you should then be working with a client. Now, I know everybody's skills will vary. Some people will be more advanced after that 10 to 15 hours, but truly, after 10 to 15 hours of just studying something, I mean, wouldn't you think that you'd be at least capable of writing your own email, your own piece of copy of something? The beauty of this whole online money space is people have already done it. They've already laid out the path for you. So go steal like an artist, if you've ever heard that saying. Go find work or copy they've written and write it in your own words and really pick apart. The Boron letters talked about this. Pick apart, read it out loud. Why is the author writing in that tone? What words are they using to persuade the reader, the audience, in that video, email, newsletter, whatever it is? Why is it so effective? The more you do that on a day-to-day basis, the quicker you will learn and the quicker you'll incorporate their good copy and their good copy habits into your own. So again, to kind of summarize, you really only need a mentor or coach after $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to handle some objections because absolutely you will fast track success with a mentor or a coach, without a doubt. You will definitely be able to get one-on-one coaching, hopefully, if as long as they're not running like Facebook ads or something like that. If that's the case, I would be a little bit worried because there's a good chance they probably have over 200 to 300 members in there. It is not possible to coach 200 members at minimum. There's just no way. You'll also be able to get better, obviously, much faster. And you can also review your copy with that coach or mentor. Those are just a couple of the benefits. I'm sure you've already thought of those. But there's also some major cons. And one of my biggest cons with getting a coach or a mentor is the fact that 90% of them suck. That is just that's just the truth. Majority of them suck. If you look in their contracts, if you go into their sales calls, again, I know this because I've done it, you will see what's required on your end in order to get a full refund. A lot of the time they'll say, get 20 clients for completely free, or sign 20 clients and I'll refund you your money if you don't sign them. Something like that. Some sort of offer like that where it sounds like a bang for your buck. But what you don't see is you need to finish the entire course, show up to every single call they have over a 6-month period, record all your sales calls, review them, and do all these things in order to get your money back. And the reality is, like, of course, anybody doing that is going to book their certain amount of calls or clients. It's just, there's a lot that goes into those contracts, and you have to be super, super careful, is all I'm saying. Some of them, again, are truthful, but some of them are just ridiculous contracts, and it's just a lot you got to do to get your money back, which is why it can be a bit dangerous. So again, I already talked about my method to improving my copywriting. It's really not that complicated. Read a couple books. They're linked in the school community. Follow me on Twitter, because there's book summaries, there's outreach methods, there's how I get clients from Upwork, all sorts of stuff like that, just scattered around. And don't just look at mine. Go look at on YouTube and adjust the search filter, and go look at other YouTubers within that 1,000 to 10,000 subscriber range, and go steal all their information and compile it into your own course, if you will, so that it helps you, gain more knowledge as a copywriter. Because it gets to a point for a lot of content creators where they're just honestly in it for the money, and they're just banging out these videos in order to capture attention, eyeballs, views, whatever you want to call it, to sell their course, which, again, I actually really don't have a problem with a course that's good and a mentor that is an actual good person. Those are hard to find. So you just have to be very careful, and you have to read the contract, because there's a certain deliverables you have to hold up your end of the bargain to in order to get that money back. So just be very careful. Be sure they're a good person, which is hard to do over a sales call, when in reality, the mentor or coach that is selling the program probably has appointment setters or closers, for that matter, trying to, fulfill all those appointments. So be very careful. That is definitely my piece of advice. And I don't think you need one until, again, $5,000 a month, especially with a skill like copywriting. I mean, you will learn more working with a client than you will working or watching a course. And again, there's so much information as well in these courses, in these programs, that you're gonna overwhelm yourself with all this information. They tell you run Facebook ads, create a personal brand, do cold email, do cold DMing, and it is just a lot of information just thrown at you all at once, and it just makes things very difficult, especially if you're a beginner. You'll probably be in the same position you are right now, buying a course. That is my honest opinion. I think start on Upwork, build out your personal brand, do those two things day in, day out, and practice copy, read books, self-educate, stuff like that, and just write copy. Those 3-4 things. Focus on doing that. The success will come 3, 4, 5 months probably down the line. That's exactly what happened for me. It was around, I want to say a month or 2 months is when I really started signing clients and kind of getting this whole show on the road, if you will. So again, to leave you with this last thing, join a good network, please, because it is the people